When we return, we'll sit down with Rocky Sanchez Navarro, Vice President of Rare Philippines, to talk about the group's campaign to help stop overfishing and safeguard food security in the country. This is Nightly News. Each year, there are more and more reports on the decline of our marine resources and the urgency to take immediate action to avoid catastrophic levels. Last week, Rare Philippines, a non-profit organization focused on marine conservation, launched the Fish Forever campaign using social marketing techniques to change the way fisherfolk think about marine resources in order to curb overfishing and safeguard food security throughout the Philippines. To tell us more, we have Rocky Sanchez Tirona, Vice President of Rare Philippines. Good evening, Rocky. And sorry about that mistake earlier.
No problem. Good evening, Mitzi.
Good evening. Now, Rare has been around, headquartered in the U.S. for 25 years. So tell us a little about Rare and then its presence in the Philippines.
All right. So Rare is an international conservation organization. And basically, the way we work is really looking for proven conservation solutions, or what we call bright spots, and replicating them in different places through by inspiring people to change their behaviors so that nature will benefit.
Yes. Yeah. So you have a very unique technique that you use. Tell us about why you decided to use social marketing.
Okay. So you know how marketing really helps commercial goods, right? And it really sells. It's a way of life. So we know that there's a science behind that, and that's the science that we've applied to social good. So using the same strategy of researching your target audience, understanding the kind of messages that they respond to, and knowing what are the triggers that will change their behavior. That's what we now apply to get, let's say, fishers to stop doing illegal practices or destructive fishing.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. And you've done this successfully in many countries, haven't you?
Yeah.
So you have something called the Pride campaigns. Tell us about this.
Yeah, okay. So a Pride campaign is actually run not by Rare, but by what we call conservation fellows. They're people from local communities that we recruit into a program. We train them in social marketing and Pride techniques. And then they're the ones that actually work with their communities and run campaigns. So you'll see them really running what look like advertising campaigns. They've got mascots, they've got jingles and posters, and they're really convincing fishers to see the difference in how they should be behaving towards their
It seems the usual information campaigns of just putting billboards, posters, they don't really work. So you need to go another step further.
Yes, there's really a science to it. It really uses psychology and social science.
So if we take a particular case study, you recently launched the Fish Forever campaign last week in Cebu, no? How is this, what is the campaign all about?
All right, so Fish Forever is actually Rare's first global initiative. We've partnered with two other organizations, the Environmental Defense Fund and the University of California in Santa Barbara. So together, the three of us have actually agreed to work on solutions to end, to reform overfishing in nearshore communities. And it uses Pride campaigns or social marketing as one cornerstone aspect of it to build community support, but it really involves a lot of other science. So there's fishery management, and then something that we call managed access, which is really giving fishers in a particular association or group exclusive access to fish in a particular area. This becomes their incentive for actually behaving more sustainably. So in exchange for guarding and protecting a particular area, they get first rights to fish.
Smart. So it's really that sense of ownership.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us about some of the people? You have a wonderful video where you talk about the people, the stewards of this area.
Right. Okay. So we work in a lot of different sites all over the country. So we've finished campaigns in 25 different municipalities.
Yes.
In Mindoro, in Bicol, Zambales, Surigao, Zamboanga. And then we work with different levels in the community. So we definitely have to have a mayor who's really a champion that really believes in marine resource protection. And then we work with the legislative body within that community. And then there are the actual members of the community. So they're people who work in the management committees, enforcement committees. They're really people who get into it, and they learn how how to participate in the
Yes.
campaign and find ways to contribute
Yes.
what they do.
So this is the example in Ipil, Zamboanga,
Yes.
where the mayor actually himself realized,
yeah.
thanks to your participation, that yes, the old traditional, posters, billboards didn't work unless you really added more,
Science and
yes,
yeah,
right.
and really building community support. Yeah, in Ipil, it's actually one of our case. It's really a bright spot because
Yes.
aside from applying it to coastal resources, they've actually applied it to all their other activities like health and,
Yes.
and education. So
That's wonderful.
it's
So
a-
tell us what makes it successful. What would be the elements of success
Okay.
for Fish Forever?
Well, for Fish Forever, we've actually identified 8 key aspects of it. So community support is one that
Yes.
that will really allow fishers to understand and then later on support the setup of these managed access areas that we talked about. And then we've got the managed access areas, which is really the exclusive rights. We need to have a marine protected area or a no-take zone where fish can really reproduce and keep
Basically the spawning.
spawning, and then there should be a spillover
Yes.
for the other areas.
Yes.
And then there really has to be strong enforcement. There has to be strong monitoring and evaluation so that the fishers themselves know that the fish is increasing,
Right.
so that they really see that. And then we have policy, so it really has to tie together.
Yes.
And then there has to be like ongoing adaptive fisheries management, which means all these other things of gears, using the
Right.
right gear, the right seasonal closures and things
Obviously,
like
science
that.
is very important, and
Yes.
collaboration is very important.
Oh,
so
yeah,
this is
yeah,
not
there's
government,
partnerships.
government
Yeah.
and corporations.
Yes, we also partner with academe quite heavily. So like the University of the Philippines Marine Science Institute has been a partner from the very
Yes.
beginning.
So obviously, this doesn't happen overnight. This is quite
No.
a long process, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you don't just teach them how to fish. You gotta
Yes.
teach them to fish right, and then you have to wait for the fish to grow.
That's right. And the point is, RARE is there to help them, but you will not be there forever. You want
Yes.
the communities to
Yeah.
really survive on their own.
Yeah, so the core of our program is really capacity building. It's really
Yes.
letting the communities themselves learn what it takes to get it done so that they can keep doing it even after
Right.
the project is over.
Okay, so what can we expect maybe if people want to help or, coming into this campaign?
Yeah, well, there are many ways. Definitely for our leaders, we have 873 coastal communities in the Philippines. So
Yes.
every mayor that actually prioritizes marine resources is somebody that's looking out for his constituency's food security
Yes.
and livelihood. So that's
Right.
definitely one. And then as citizens, we also can support these pride campaigns by really encouraging our fishers to do the right thing. So even in little things, like when we don't buy fish that's too small, that actually
Yes.
encourages them to wait until they get bigger. So it's
Or
things like
illegally
that.
farmed, or even aquarium fish that are illegally
Yeah,
taken.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
So
why should we care? It's because we really do rely on fish as a big
Oh
source of
yeah,
protein.
yeah.
right? So
We're like
everybody should care.
60% of our protein comes
Yeah.
from fish here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Rocky, and all the best to you. And
Thank
look
you,
forward to
Mitzi.
hearing more. Maybe come back to tell us more
All right.
next time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
Okay.
again for joining us, Rocky Sanchez-Tirona of RARE Philippines. And those were the day's top stories. I'm Mitzi Borromeo. Catch former UFC champion and now ONE FC Vice President Rich Franklin on Sports Desk with Gino Rafino and Cheska Litton. That's up next. Thanks for watching. Good night.